Oh, hey, YouTube. What's going on? It's Mike McKinstry with Bassquatch Hunter TV coming at you with Volume 16. That's like 3 hands plus 1. Volume 16 of Coffee with Bassquatch. Wow, that means 16 weeks. Actually, 17 weeks ago is when I started this because I took a week off for the holidays. I did not do a Coffee with Bassquatch in the last week, but this is the first one of 2018. So make sure you guys give us one a thumbs up just for that alone. This is the first Coffee with Bassquatch episode of 2018. That's pretty sweet. So for those of you who are new to this video or who have not heard of this video before, of my little series I do here, Coffee with Bassquatch, this is like a video, kind of like a video podcast. This is like my vlog. I do these once a week during the week to say hi to everybody, to have an open conversation, open discussion about any topics relating to kayak bass fishing, or fishing out of a kayak in general, or filming, or anything that you guys want to talk about. So I do these once a week, and they're usually random. They're usually announced last minute for a reason, because I do them around my schedule whenever I feel like I have time to sit here and chat. So they usually run about 45 minutes because of that. But either way, welcome to Volume 16. John Bolton, thank you so much, buddy. How you doing, man? Happy New Year. So as a reminder, John Bolton is almost always the one that reminds me of this, but the Super Chat service is turned on this video. So while this video is live, if you would like to donate to Bassquatch Hunter TV and the Coffee with Bassquatch platform, all you have to do is click the little $ on the bottom near the comment section, and you can donate any amount you would like. Every single little teeny bit helps. I cover a lot of my own expenses, so every little bit helps. For example, today I finally shipped out all the stockings from the 7 days of Fishmas. I apologize for the delay. The holidays backed me up like crazy. The overdrive coming out for Feel Free took about 4 days of my time, and I'm still working on stuff. So I apologize it took me so long, but that's an example of where the money goes to. All those prizes that were in those stockings, including the stockings themselves, the packaging, the shipping, everything was covered by myself. So every little bit does help, and I appreciate it. Before we go on to our topics for the day, there's a few things I wanted to do first. One of them is I always talk about which mug I use, because it's funny because my coffee mugs, I have a pretty big collection, and my coffee mugs are very personal to me. So I pick a certain mug based on my mood or what I'm feeling like talking about for the day whenever I do these videos. So today, and probably almost every video for a while, I'm going to be using this mug, which is now my official Coffee with Bassquatch mug. This was sent to me by a fan of the show. He sent me this for Christmas, along with my wife got a matching one with her pictures and the dog for Christmas, and then our dog got a custom water bowl with his name on it. So this was a Christmas present from a fan of the show and a good friend, and it's awesome. I'm going to show this off every single video I do when I have this available and clean, because it's incredible. So thanks again for sending me the mug. Also, if you noticed, today I'm drinking tea out of the mug instead of coffee, because although it is called Coffee with Bassquatch, I've been a little under the weather the last 2 days, and I can't afford to be sick, so I've been drinking black tea during the day and green tea in the mornings and at night, so that's why there's tea in this one. The other thing I want to go over before we started talking was I wanted to wish everybody a Happy New Year. I know I've posted it on Facebook, I've posted it through social media, but I haven't really posted it through YouTube. So everybody who's watching this video, who comes across this video, Happy New Year. 2018 is going to be an incredible year, not just for the sport of kayak fishing, but for everybody. I think 2017 was a mess. It was a complete mess. Society has gone crazy, and I'm hoping that people are going to move forward in 2018 and set some good goals for yourselves, and hopefully achieve them, and don't let anything get in your way. And that's my biggest thing. I say this a lot during these videos, but if you set a goal for yourself, you want to set it where it's attainable, where it's reachable, it's reasonable. You can't say, this year I'm going to make $500,000 fishing. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, it's got to be attainable. It's got to be realistic. That way you can actually, if you can't reach your goal, at least you're going to make a lot of progress towards your goal. And that's the point. So when I set goals, I set a bunch of mini goals is what I call them. Happy New Year to you too, John Kincaid. I set a bunch of mini goals. So each day on my dry erase board, which is right behind me over here, I have a dry erase board. I have a couple dry erase boards, but one of them has the days on it, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, blah, blah, blah. Each day I put a goal that I want to accomplish, separate from my to-do list. My to-do list is always like this long, and I can only get this much done in one day. It's not physically possible, but I set a goal for myself, whether it's... sometimes my goal is trying to get my whole to-do list done, which doesn't usually happen, but it motivates me to try to accomplish it just so I can scratch off one more thing on my goal. Like, I really like to try to get my daily goals accomplished. I set monthly goals as well. Monthly goals I set, if I want to gain X amount of subscribers on my channel, then I have to advertise more and promote more in these areas. If I want to do a new report for this or that or something, I set monthly goals. And then obviously my yearly goals are the big ones. My yearly goals are huge. And for 2018, this will be my first full year. Hey, what's up, Chuck? How you doing, man? 2018 is my first full year that I'm going to be full-time fishing and filming. Last year, I quit my day job halfway through the year, like June or July-ish. I quit my day job, which I wasn't really at that much anymore because I was kind of fishing full-time last year anyway, but I decided to fully walk away from it in June or July. And... so it's my first full year. Like, this will be the first 12 months straight that I'm going to be doing this full time. So I have a lot of big goals for myself. I plan on stepping up my game. My video editing is going to be better this year than it ever has been. My filming is going to be better than it ever has been. I've been doing a lot of online courses and a lot of studying online. At least 3 to 4 hours a day I spend researching, studying, and practicing my editing skills or learning something new for editing or filming or upgrading some of my camera gear and stuff like that. So this year my videos, I really hope that they're going to impress all of you because I got better and better. If you look at what I did in January of last year and what I did in January of this year, I mean, it goes like this. It's incredible. It shocks me how far I've came in 1 year. And to imagine where I'm going to be in another year, it gets me excited. That's what motivates me to keep on going, and because I can't wait till this time next year where I get to look back and go, look how far I came this year. Let's set my goals for the next year. And I'm going to keep on doing it. I'm going to keep on growing. I'm going to keep on pushing and grinding, and I'm going to keep on working. As long as I can do my 20 to 22 hour days, I'm going to keep on doing them because progress doesn't lie. And I'm so proud of myself and where I've came. I'm proud of my sponsors and the brands I work with for how far they've helped me go and how much they helped me grow and where I'm going to be going with them this year. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a whole lot of fun. Some of the newer companies I've gotten to work with, this will be my first full year working with those companies. Companies like Z-Man. So I'm really excited to see what I can prove to them and what I can do to grow. So a lot of cool things. Other thing I wanted to talk about, now that we're getting into topics, I got a new kayak stand, and I am so excited to show it to you guys, but it is set up in my garage right now because I'm still working on my kayak for the show season, which starts next week. I have another stand right in front of me, but it's still in the box, so I'm going to do a video on that later today. John Bolton said, my New Year's resolution is to fish with Mike and Cedar. Well, that's very possible. You've told me this twice now, but remind me what state you live in, because I'm pretty sure it's Kentucky, but I have a terrible memory with stuff like that. But I'm actually in the process of planning a trip down there, so that could happen sooner than you think. Maybe not with Cedar, though. I don't know if I'm bringing the dog or not. So the new kayak stand I got. So these are called the Travel Rack System. They're by a company called Spare Hand. Hey, what's up, Bill? How you doing, man? John Bolt said an hour and a half from Chad. Yep, so Kentucky. I might be going to Cumberland soon. I'm not sure yet. It's just literally it's on my computer screen right now. Like, I've been working on trying to find a place to go to next week. It might be further than that. I might end up flying somewhere instead. But anyway, this new kayak stand I got, it's by a company called Spare Hand, and it is called the Travel Rack System. And this thing is incredible. It's called a CX model is what it is. It's a fold-out kayak stand. It's kind of like those the stands that you see at a restaurant where the server brings out a big tray of food and they fold out like that super lightweight stand that holds the big tray of food. That's what they look like, but they hold a lot of weight. You can put like 150, 200 pounds on these things. So I have my kayak set up on them right now, and they're small. They fold up to like this thick. So they sit in the back of my pickup truck. They sit in the back seat of my truck. They sit in my trailer with no problems whatsoever. And I can pull my kayak out of my pickup bed, and since my truck sits kind of high, my kayak can drop down right in the stands, and then I can rig it all up like at this level, which is amazingly comfortable. And then I can take it off the stands and lower it down to the water. It's pretty sweet. Plus, they're good for storage, so I'll have one of my kayaks sitting on these stands for the whole winter time. So you guys got to check these stands out. Make sure you look them up. It's Spare Hand. What's the website? It's sparehandsystems.com. All one word. So sparehandsystems.com. And check them out. And they're pretty sweet. I think they retail for like $80 for the set, which is nothing. I mean, if you think about it, whatever you guys are using for stands right now, if you're not using stands, it's definitely better to get them off the ground. But I'm going to use these same stands at the fishing show next week. So if you're in Michigan and you come to the fishing show, the Ultimate Fishing Show, you'll be able to see these stands under my kayak at the Summit booth because these things are awesome. So how's everybody's Christmas and New Year? Did anyone... Here's a question I want to ask, too, for the people that are live in the video right now. Did anyone get anything for Christmas that they did not think they were going to get? Like a really cool kayak or fish finder or a new reel or rod or just something, even if it's not fishing related. Whether it's a new car or even. Did anybody get something like super cool for Christmas that they didn't think they were going to get? Like a super surprise. Like I had a couple, actually. This is probably one of the best Christmases I've ever had in my entire life. One... This mug was definitely one of the things that I never expected to get. John Hatley said a Marlin Lover Action 30-30, been asking for 5 years from the fiance. Nice. I have a 30-30 as well, but 30 and a 30-06 I use for hunting. Brandon Kidd said home beer making kit. That's awesome. That's really finicky. I had one about like 8 or 9 years ago. I'm sure they've came a long way in advance, but the home beer kits were super finicky back in the day. John Ferguson got a Fenwick bait casting rod and new Garcia bait caster from the Parentals. That's awesome. My parents would never get me that. My parents bought me my new LED light for my studio because I have probably 5 lights in my studio and I wanted a new one. I wanted a specific one for doing these videos, which is what I'm using right now. And it's awesome. And my parents got me that. It's probably the best gift they've ever gotten me. It's super cool. And I got some cool stuff, actually. My wife's amazing. If I don't say that enough on here, then I'm sorry, but my wife is absolutely incredible. She's like, I mean, to say she's the best thing that ever happened to me is kind of cliche. Like, I know everybody kind of says that, but it's so true. It is so true. My wife is absolutely incredible. She got me a new tripod that I wanted, like a little travel tripod. Ooh, Chris got a 13 Fishing Origin A. That's an awesome reel. I was hoping to get a new concept for Christmas, but I didn't. That's the only thing I didn't get that I was hoping to get was I have a concept 8 bait caster for my chatterbait rod, and it's my favorite bait casting rod and reel I've ever used by far. You can cast that thing dead straight into the wind on the loosest setting and it won't nest up. Like, you can't nest it up. Like, my wife has never thrown a bait caster and I had her throw it and it casted like a dream. I highly recommend those. Those are incredible. But I got my sister got me some amazing pictures. They're like exploded view blueprints of the original reel seat, the artificial fishing lure, and the original fishing lure, the original patents, the reprints, obviously the patents, but she bought them, put them in nice frames, and they're sitting above my desk right now. That's why I'm pointing this direction. Actually, if you guys want to see them, I think I could turn this. If you guys want to check them out. That's them right there. So the other really cool, now I gotta adjust this again. The other really cool present I got was a fan of the show on here. I think he's on here right now, actually. he printed out the Bassquatch logo that my friend Bill drew for me, and had his kids color it in and sign their names on it, and I put them in frames, and they are actually behind. You know what? Let me go ahead and do this. Let me detach my camera here from my tripod. So if you guys want to check this out, here's my new ring light that I use for portrait stuff. Here's all my other lighting back there. Let me show you guys this real quick. This is pretty sweet. So here's those pictures I was talking about. There's the original reprint of the patent for the fishing pole reel seat. It was filed in 1968. So I got that one in a nice frame. The original fishing lure was patented in 1948. And then the original artificial lure. Pretty cool design too. Very, very interesting to see where it came. So those are the pictures that my sister got me. These are the pictures I was just talking about. So I framed them and I put them right behind my computer. So when I'm working on my computer, which is right here in front of me, then right over my computer screens, I see these pictures all the time, to remind me how amazing my audience is. So that's why I put those pictures there, because every time I work on my computer, I'm there for 10 hours a day sometimes. I wanted to be able to kind of just glance up and have that reminder of how incredible all you people are that support me. So either way, now we have some really cool things coming up too. So I want to bring up 3 topics in this video that I haven't talked about yet. First one, I've seen 2 or 3 people post this now on Facebook, and I want to reiterate what they're saying because I think it's an important message. A lot of people in 2018 are saying that they want to stop the drama from 2017. They want to focus on fishing for fun and remember that the sport of fishing is supposed to be fun and not complain about people or talk negatively and all stuff like that. And I think that's great. I just really hope that the people that are saying this are actually sticking to it, like they're actually going to mean it. My biggest complaint, I guess you could say, about the fishing world is the drama. And you're always going to have drama. No matter what you do, I don't care if you put 100 people that are all the same age, same area, they're going to complain about something. It's just how it is. Like, no matter what, there's going to be people that complain. There's people that are negative. It's the way the world works, unfortunately. There's always going to be somebody to try to shoot something down just to do it. Like, no reason at all, just to go ahead and shoot someone down because that's just their personality. So, I'm not going to assume that all the negativity is going to go away like this. It's not possible. But what I do hope for and what I pray for is that a lot of the people that are the reoccurring trolling, I guess, like the people that are always there to be negative, I'm hoping those kind of people just kind of either grow up a little bit or wake up and realize what they're doing and make it easier for everybody else. Because what you guys don't realize is that it might be harmless in your eyes to go on a Facebook group and start talking bad about another brand or a person or an angler or another group. It might be harmless. You might be able to hide behind the same crap that all these millennials hide behind by saying, oh, it's my right to say whatever I want to say. Just because you have the right doesn't mean you should. I don't need to go over that. I think most of us are normal human beings and adults where we understand that just because we have the right to do it doesn't mean we should do it. Doesn't mean it's the right thing to do just because we have the right to do it. But you got to remember that if you're in the sport of kayak fishing, in any sport, in anything, it doesn't matter if this could apply to a company you work for, but if you're part of a team, you're part of a group, you got to remember that when someone from the outside comes in and they're brand new, they don't know anything, they're going to cling to the people that they look up to. And they're going to cling to the people who seem like they know what they're talking about, or cling to the people who've been in it for longer than they have, which is pretty much everybody because you're brand new. So when they see someone go on and talk negative about another brand or another product or an angler or another group, it's it's going to do one of a few things. One, it's going to make them jump on board and hate whatever you hate too for no reason. So another uneducated person that's hating for no reason joins the group, which benefits nobody. It makes them not want to be in the sport at all or be part of that group because they don't want to be around negativity and they don't want to be intimidated and they feel uncomfortable because they might not agree with you. And the third thing is it makes the sport look childish. It makes the whole entire sport look like a joke because it's like, oh, this group doesn't get along with this group, so I can't do this tournament because this person told me I can't be in this group, or I can't be caught in this brand of a kayak because this person that I'm friends with hates them and I don't want to be pushed aside because I have this brand. Like, it creates a weird segregation. And I'll tell you this from experience in other sports as well. If you try to create or be a part of segregation in any sport, it is going to destroy the sport or destroy the community that the sport like feeds off of. So a sport like kayak fishing is such a big community, and I've never seen any sport where there's a community this tight knit. Like today alone, I've spent so much time on the phone with probably 6 different people in 6 different states that I literally just sent a message to, like, hey, give me a call, I have a question, because I'm trying to find a place to travel to very short notice. And everybody was like, oh yeah, dude, they called me right away. Hey, what's going on? Here's my fishing spots. Here's the best spot. That doesn't happen in almost any other sport. Like, you can't do that in most other sports. Like, the community feel isn't there. So since kayak fishing has that community and we're that close-knit, there should be no segregation whatsoever. Like, no segregation. Like, I don't care what group you're a part of. I don't care who your best friends are. I don't care what kind of kayak you use. I don't care what... I don't care anything about the visuals, I guess. Like, I don't care. It's just stupid to me that people take so much, they put so much weight on the appearance, on the outside of people. Like, oh, this person's got a Hobie, so they must be like this. And it's like, well, you don't know that person. Just because they're in a Hobie doesn't mean they're anything. Or this person isn't part of that group, so he must be like this. No, you don't know that. So I always tell people that I don't judge the kayak, I judge the angler. And I mean that in the truest sense of the word. I don't judge anybody off of what I see at all. I judge people off of what I know and what I learn. And if everyone in the world thinks you're an a-hole, but I meet you and you're the nicest dude in the world, obviously my opinion of you is different than everybody else's. So all the people that are walking around saying that person's an a-hole, obviously it's going to be awkward for me to tell them, like, no, he's not. Like, I have no issues with him. And that's happened plenty of times. So long story short, everybody's got to stop hating so much. It's so stupid. It's almost to the point where it's entertaining. A lot of you guys know that. When you see these big threads go off on these fishing pages, it's a matter of minutes, and people just start throwing in comments that make no sense, like completely uneducated comment. Like, I can make a post right now in a fishing group on Facebook that says, I hate kayak fishing. And just let it sit there. And I guarantee you, within an hour, it would have 100 comments. And it would snowball into all these different offshoots of complaints and arguments. And it's just so dumb. Everyone's waiting. Like, it's like there's a group of people sitting there waiting by their keyboards. And as soon as a comment posts up that they can attack, they're just like, oh, go, 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 go. And they start, like, using radios to contact each other. Like, hey, blue team, go. Someone made a comment. Be negative. It's just so dumb to me. But when someone makes a positive comment, like, hey, I caught this great fish on this lake today, check it out, it gets like 15 likes and maybe 10 comments. Like, it doesn't get that much attention. But you post a controversial post where people can start arguing, it will have 1,000 comments within a month. It's just insane. Like, everybody's so quick to jump on the hate wagon, but nobody out there is really spreading the love wagon. I don't know if that should be a t-shirt or not, but that was it might be good. It might be taken the wrong way too. But my point is, in 2018, guys, let's really focus on spreading love and spreading the positive of the sport, because there is so many more positives of kayak fishing and fishing in general than there are negatives. I promise that. I promise you, I don't care what your drama or what your beef is. I completely agree that there is 10 positives for every one negative in the sport. There really is. And trust me, I've been in drama. I've been the reason for drama. I've been the one to stop drama. I've been the one to amplify drama. I've been in every part of it plenty of times. And I will tell you this, nobody wins an argument. And I will say this too. A good friend of mine told me this a year and a half ago, and it stuck in my head, and I still, to this day, I use this quote a lot. But he told me that, this is actually from his dad, too, which is even cooler, because it's like a super old school, like, Southern, like, metaphor. But he said, if you see two idiots arguing, in your eyes, like, if you go to argue, I'm saying this wrong already. If you go to argue with an idiot, in your eyes, you're arguing with an idiot. But everybody else around you, all they see is two idiots arguing. So nothing good will come out of that, because you just made yourself the same level as the person that you're arguing with now. So when you guys see negativity on any Facebook forum or any social media or in person even, which doesn't happen that often if you've noticed, negativity only happens when you have a keyboard or a screen to hide behind. In person, it's all handshakes and smiles, but as soon as you get separated by technology and you have a keyboard in front of you, people get those big keyboard muscles and they start saying a lot of cool, tough stuff. And then when you see them in person, it's like, oh, hey, what's going on, man? Oh, that was just Facebook. It's no big deal. Then they go back in their phone again or on their keyboard and they're just like, eh. It's just so stupid. But next time you guys see this stuff, if you do nothing about it and you ignore it, in my opinion, you are an accomplice to the problem. If everybody stands up and just tell everyone to quit being babies about everything and quit crying about stuff and just be adults about stuff. If you're not solution oriented, then you're a problem. And that's just the way I've always told people. If you see a problem and you're not trying to fix it, then stay out of it. And if you choose to ignore the problem and not stand up to fix a problem, then you're only amplifying the problem by being one more person that's hiding from it. And the one person that finally gets brave enough to stand up and say, hey, you're being stupid, you guys got to stop arguing, you'll get crucified for being the one that stands up. I've done that, trust me. And it's not always the best move. But if everybody stands up and says, hey, this one person needs to quit being negative, and there's 50 of us doing it, obviously it's a lot different. John Hatley says, what do you recommend we do? Are you saying a throat punch is justified? I did not say a throat punch was justified, although sometimes it may be necessary. But all I'm saying is that if you guys see these negative posts about anything, whether it's about a group, a person, a product, a brand, I don't care if it's your buddy that makes it the post, or I don't care who it is. You guys should everybody should take charge of the situation and stand up and just be like, hey, what's the point? Like honestly, if you go into a Facebook group and say a certain brand of kayaks sucks, that's all you say, what is the point of that? Like, how is that going to benefit anybody? Nobody. No one will benefit from that whatsoever. It makes you look stupid, and it starts a firestorm of other stupid people that want to chime in. That's all it's going to do. And what would that look like to a brand new angler that comes in the sport, and someone goes on there and says, hey, go check out this new group on Facebook. It's a really cool group. And they go on there, and they're all excited, and they see this big hate thread. And it's like, that's not how we should represent our sport. We should not represent our sport with negativity and hatred and immaturity, because honestly, 95% of us are amazing, incredible human beings. And I have met so many people in the sport across the country, and I literally could count on one hand how many people I've met that I don't like. Like, that's 5 or less. That's not bad odds at all. That means I've met hundreds of people in the sport, and there's only 5 or less that I don't like. That's not bad at all. The problem is those 5 people that are cancers in the sport that like to spread as much as they can, the other people that don't want to stand up to them chime in and contribute to them. So either way, if we all stand up together, I really think we can make a difference in 2018, and I think we can make the sport look even better and be better. And you know, the bigger the sport gets, the more professional we all are, and the more serious that we take the sport, the more serious other brands, other sponsors, and other people can take the sport too. And that should be everyone's goal, is the bigger the sport gets, the bigger we all get. And just like another same person said this too, a rising tide raises all ships. And that what that means is let's just say the ocean is our sport, and when the tide rises and it all goes up, all the ships in the sea all go up with it. So if we're all ships in the sea, we should all want to grow the ocean instead of our own ship, if that makes any sense. If it does, it does. If it doesn't, it's normal. I go in squirrel mode a lot. John Bolton said, it's like your Facebook page says, when I'm not adulting, I'm fishing. I'm still adulting when I'm fishing. I'm just not adulting to the normal standards. I'm still an adult when I fish. Chuck said, peace, love, and kayak fishing. Yes. John Bolton, can we name drop? I don't know what you mean by that. John Hatley said, first time I ever met Mike, we were on the water and he literally gave me the lure he was using to catch fish. While the lure didn't work that great for me, he still gave me the lure. Yeah, so that's an example right there. So yeah, the first time I met John on the water, I was catching fish with a frog, and I asked him, I'm like, hey dude, I didn't know who he was, and I was on a lake that I go on a lot, so went over and paddled over to him, and it's like, hey man, how's it going? I didn't know who you were, and I want to come over and introduce myself and see what's going on. I'm like, hey, do you have any frogs with you? And he's like, no, I don't have any frogs. So I went, snip, here, now you do. I'm like, it's what I've been catching them on all day, so good luck. He didn't have the good luck with it, so I feel kind of bad. But that's how the sport should be. And that's what happened when I was in Tennessee. I went to Tennessee unexpectedly, and I had a filming schedule set up, but as always, things got in the mix and moved around and stuff like that. And I ended up on a new launch I've never been on. I go out there, and it was like the kayak mafia saw me, because 3 kayaks from all different directions started coming towards me as soon as, I was 20 feet from the launch. And I was like, all right, I'm from Michigan. I'm a Yankee. These guys are Southerners. Let's see what happens. Hopefully they're cool guys. All 3 of them came up to me. We hung out and talked for 5 or 6 hours on the water. John Ferguson was one of them, actually. He just commented. And they all came up and started talking to me like we were best friends. Like we've known each other for 10 years. I ended up fishing with those guys for the next couple days, and it was awesome. And now I consider them friends, and they're great people. And that's an example of how the sport should be. And that's how I try to make sure I portray the sport to everybody. I don't care who you are, if you're a serious fisherman, if it's your first time in a kayak. I've gone up to people on the bank plenty of times. If I see someone bank fishing, I'll paddle up to them. And I'll tell them, like, hey, I have a spare kayak in the truck. Do you want to try a kayak out? Like, get off the bank, man. Come out and check out the water. It's cool. And every once in a while, I've had a couple times where people take me up on it. And I show them how to use the kayak. I give them a life jacket. I give them some baits if they don't have the right baits. And take them out and show them how to kayak fish. Because even if they don't like it, they're going to have a great experience. And all it takes is one good deed to start a chain of good deeds. I always say this all the time, and for some reason people don't believe me, but it happened today. Here's a good example. So I was at the post office today, shipping out all the 7 days of Fishmas stuff, and I had a huge bag of 15 different things I was shipping out at once, and there was a lady in front of me, probably in her 40s or 50s, and John Bolton said, have people recognized you as Bassquatch on the water yet? Yeah, that actually happens. Not a lot, but it does happen. Usually they don't recognize me. They recognize my truck, like the logo on my truck. And then they'll say something, or they'll tell me I look familiar, but as soon as they hear the name or see the sticker Bassquatch, like, oh, that's you. Oh, okay. So I'm not sure why, but for some reason people know the name more than me, which is fine. It doesn't matter. But yeah, it's happened a couple times. It actually happened when we were driving. It was in my vlog video. It was so funny. We had this car flying next to us in Kentucky, and 2 kids in the back, a guy in the passenger seat, and there's a woman driving, and they pulled up next to us beeping, and they were holding a phone up with my YouTube page on it, and they were pointing to it and waving, and the kids in the back seat were going like this, like they were so excited, and my wife just looked at me and just gave me that look like, really? Seriously? And I'm like, it was pretty sweet. Made my week. Trust me, it was pretty cool. Anyway, so I was at the post office today, squirrel mode. And there was a lady in front of me, probably in her 40s or 50s. And then in front of her at the counter, there was an elderly woman, I'm assuming in her 80s. I assume maybe her 80s, if not maybe early 90s. Very sweet old woman. She didn't remember her address, so she had to go out to her car and ask her daughter what her address was. So when she walked away from the counter, the lady in front of me stepped up immediately and told the clerk at the counter at the post office and said, look, whatever she's shipping out, I want to pay for it. I want to cover whatever she's shipping out for her. It's a new year, and I want to make sure she starts the new year out with a smile. And there was 4 or 5 of us in line, and we're all just like, aw, almost together. That was so sweet, awesome. So when she left, she said thank you and everything like that. The woman in front of me went up, and she was checking out. She had a $40-something bill, because she was shipping out an overnight package or something like that. So she left. Everybody was thanking her on the way out. So then I go up to the counter. I ship out all my stuff like that. And then I noticed the people behind me had a couple small packages they were shipping out. So I told the cashier, I said, look, do me a favor, keep my credit card, and I'm going to walk out of the way. Whatever they're shipping out behind me, I'm going to cover that. So I covered the people behind me, then those people covered the people behind them to pay it forward, and it kept on going. So there was 5 people in line today at the post office that everybody got their shipping paid for by the person in front of them, and then they covered the person behind. It was like one of the coolest things I've ever. I wish I could have videotaped it. It was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen, because it was such a good example. Like, there was 2 people working at the post office, and both of them were getting choked up. One of the women that were working there started crying already, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is so sweet." And all of us were laughing and like high-fiving each other, and like, it was such a cool moment. But that's all it takes, is one good deed. And if you're in the right atmosphere, it could set off a chain reaction of some of the coolest, like, humanity points ever. And that's all you got to do in the water. And one of my biggest things on my Bassquatch Hunter Facebook page, my slogan of Bassquatch Hunter TV, and myself as a person, as an angler, is always take care of the people you meet, the fish you catch, and the water you touch. And I try to practice that 24/7, whether I'm on the road driving, whether I'm on the water, whether I'm on here on my phone, on Facebook, whatever I'm doing. I always try to make sure that everybody realizes that you should take care of everything you come in contact with in this world, because one, you never know what's going to come back. Karma is a mofo, I promise you that. And you never know when it's going to come back in a positive way or in a negative way, so it's not worth it. And that's like, you know, I've talked about this a lot, but it's like my tattoo on my forearm. It's a visual quote that's called "Time is more powerful," and the quote talks about how circumstances always change and time is more powerful than you are. So never treat anybody with disrespect, or never treat anybody like they're below you, because you never know when they could be on a different level and you could need something from them, or you could be at their mercy. So just gotta remember, always be good and do good. That's all it is. If you're a good person, you're cool. That's how I always judge people off one thing only. If you're a good person. If you're a good person, you're good in my book. I could care less anything else about you. I don't care what kind of kayak you have. I don't care if you hate fishing. I don't care if you... I don't care what the story is. If you're a good person, I have room in my life for you. If you're not a good person, I don't care what color, race, religion. I could care anything else less about you. If you're not a good person, I have no time for you. And that's how I've always treated people. As long as you're a good person, I'll do anything I can to possibly help you. I'll do anything I can to help your life. I'll literally, like, take the shirt off my back for you. Like, as long as you're a good person, I'm good. And it's kind of what I always tell people, is like, I don't care what color, race, religion, anything you are. If you're an a-hole, you're an a-hole. That's it. It's just plain and simple. So that was a long, unexpected rant. So back to fishing stuff. This being the first video I've done in 2018, I wanted to cover these points because they're so important to me. And, you know, I come off one of 2 ways to most people, from what I've heard. And I either come off as a super passionate, like, very ambitious, hardworking person, which is, unfortunately, I think the minority of people kind of see me as that. The other people see me come off completely opposite, because I am so passionate, so I'm very connected to everything I do. So my videos, the companies I work with, the products that I promote, the people that I fish with, the people that are good people in the sport, I'm very protective, and it's because I'm so passionate. Everything in the sport is so close to my heart. I literally live, breathe, and eat this sport. This is all I do. Anything to do with kayak fishing is pretty much my entire life. From the moment I wake up, even when I'm sleeping, I have dreams about kayak fishing and stuff. So it's like literally surrounds my life. The only things that I like really have in my mind ever are my wife, my dog, and kayak fishing stuff. So, and friends and family obviously are in there too. But I take it so personally and so passionately that I'm very protective. So, you know, I do apologize when I do come off wrong. It's because I'm always boom in someone's face and I'm just there right away. And it's not because nothing's ever intended in a bad way. It's just because I'm super passionate and I'm very ambitious and I'm very aggressive. So, that being said, let's talk some kayak fishing before we end this video. So, I always like to do this part too, like what's new with Bassquatch Hunter TV. Wow, there's a lot new with Bassquatch Hunter TV for 2018. So for 2018, I'm redoing the website, which haven't even started yet. But the website's still up. I'm still in the middle of it. The YouTube channel has been reorganized and relaid out, which I'm going to probably do again soon. I'm working on I think the last video I released was the video in Tennessee with Chad, or the double sea tug video with Chad, actually. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you look on this channel for the double sea tug video, because that video was so much fun to make. Chris Kinsvader said, has anyone here used the Powell nuisance rod? I have not personally used those rods at all. So if anybody else on here has, please jump in on that conversation and help him out, because I have not used those at all. I use FX fishing rods, FX custom fishing rods, because I am very picky with my rods, to say the least. So before I had a rod sponsor, I had a hodgepodge of rods, because I was so picky I could never find a rod that fit exactly what I wanted. There's always something missing. So I had some St. Croix rods for certain things. I had some Manly rods for certain things. I had 2 or 3 Abu rods and Shimano rods. Like, I had certain rods for certain things that I used. And then I ended up getting the chance to get a custom rod built from FX Custom Rods. So I won a raffle they were doing, and I got a big portion of the rod covered, and I had to pay, I think I paid like $200. It was like a $500 or $600 rod, and it ended up costing me like $200. So I did that. I used that rod for almost a full year, and finally I contacted the company and said, look guys, this is the best rod I've ever used, ever. Like, I've never had a fishing rod that was this light, this sensitive, and it took a beating. I mean, I used that rod for I used it for frogging, for crankbaits, for drop shot, for Ned rig, for every single thing, because I loved the rod so much, and it worked flawlessly for everything. And they designed it exactly to my specs. It's incredible. And if you guys haven't seen that, go through some of my pictures on Facebook, and you'll see it's the rod that says Bassquatch on it. It's amazing. So I ended up getting sponsored by that company. For 2017, I was their first and only national pro angler on their team. But they do have a really large pro staff of really good guys too. And those rods, I'm not just saying this because I'm sponsored by them. I'm sponsored by them because they are this good. It's never backwards with me. I never promote a brand just because I work with them. I work with them because I promote the brand. You always got to remember that. If I promote a product, whether I'm sponsored by them or not, it's because I would promote the product whether I'm sponsored by them or not. So if I promote Spare Hand kayak racks, like the new Kayak Stand that I got is made by Spare Hand. I am not sponsored by Spare Hand whatsoever. They don't pay me to say that, nothing at all. I think they make an awesome product. I've met those guys at a fishing show last year, and some of the coolest people I've ever met. So that's why I promote products. I promote products that I believe in, and the people behind the product I believe in. So FX rods are incredible, and they're Mike Godlewski's on the pro staff too, actually. Their warranty is amazing. It's a 3-year no questions asked warranty. If you step on the rod, if you break it, if you lose it, if anything happens to it in 3 years, you get a free rod. Like, who does that? And they're super high-end rods too. Like, anybody who's fished with me, I always tell them, like, hey, check this rod out, and I throw them one of the rods because it's so amazing. But either way, check out FX rods. Go to fxcustomrods.com. If you Facebook message me, then I will give you a promo code for them as well. But you have to message me on Facebook at Bassquatch Hunter Facebook page or my personal Facebook page. Send me a private message, and if you are interested in buying some rods, I will give you a discount that you can use on as many rods as you want, but only one order. So you can do one order and order 5 rods, and you'll get a good discount on all 5 rods. But I only have a very small amount of promo codes to use to give out for the whole year. So you got to message me and I'll give them to you. But they make spinning rods and casting rods. They're actually adding a bunch more to the lineup this year, so they're going to have, geez, I forgot the number now. They're going to have over 20 options. I know that. I don't remember how many, but they're going to have over 20 options, which is incredible. So all my rods are all FX rods. My spinning, my bait casting, my finesse, my frog, everything. They make a rod for everything you could possibly use, and you will be blown away with how good they are. They're so light and so strong. I always make a joke that those rods are more sensitive than a millennial, but they are incredible. Definitely really good rods. Someone else asked a question. John Bolton said, can we get a quick shot of that hat? Of this hat? This is my Yak Gear hat. I'm not wearing a Bassquatch TV hat today because, honestly, it's because my hat rack is on my wall in the bedroom. And the first one on that rack when I woke up this morning was this one. So I put it on. Normally I'd be wearing a Bassquatch Hunter TV hat for my videos, but either way, I love my Yak Gear hat. My Yak Gear and Railblazer hat are probably two of my favorite hats. So, before we end this video, before we end Coffee with Bassquatch Volume 16, does anybody have any questions that you want to ask, whether it's kayak related, fishing related, rigging options, about gear, about anything new coming up in 2018, about fishing shows or expos that are coming up, or about Bassquatch Hunter TV, or anything at all? Mike said, any fishing this weekend? Yes. I'm thinking about... So that's a tough question. So I'm planning on ice fishing this weekend. But I also might... I just found out today I might be going out of state this weekend. So I'm waiting until probably tomorrow I'll know. Carson's Outside Adventures, you're going to be at the NC again. Yes, of course I will. I would never miss the national championship, especially when it's a $100,000 tournament this year. But I qualified in April. The first tournament we had in Michigan, I qualified. I try to do that in every year, make it easy. First tournament of the year, I just work my butt off and make sure I win it so I can qualify. So I got first place the first tournament of the year in April so I could qualify. But I'm not fishing the tournament this year, even though I qualified, because I am going to film the whole tournament and the whole event, the award ceremony. I'm going to make an awesome, kick-ass video for you guys instead. So I'll be at the national championship, but I'm not going to be fishing it. James Reed said, if I store my plastics outside, do you think it would cause any damage? So I store all of my soft plastics. My fishing room is technically, it's a breezeway, so it's between my garage and my house. So it's definitely not heated. I mean, I have a heater in there, but I don't run it ever because unless I'm working in there for some reason. I've never had a problem with it. Now, if you have any plastics that have water or moisture in them, then yes, it can damage them. But if they're completely unopened, then it shouldn't cause any problems. It might dry them out a little bit, by the way, if they're super salty. You should collab with Robert Field. He's living in a camper now. John Bolton, look at my YouTube channel because I've done 2 videos, I think, with Robert now. I actually did a video with him in Florida, and I think the other video I did with him I never actually did because it wasn't good. But, yeah, Robert's a good friend of mine. That's what's cool about, I hope all you guys know this too, is there's no competition in YouTube. There's really not. I get questions all the time, what video software do you use, or what cameras do you use, or how do you do this, or how do you do that? And then people are shocked when I help them. They're like, oh, I don't mean to bother you, but can you help me with this? I'm like, dude, it's not like we're competing. There's billions of views on YouTube every day. It's not going to change anything if there's 20 of us doing it. I don't care. The more of us doing it, the more awareness gets to the sport. So keep on doing it. But yeah, no, me, Robert Field, Chad Hoover, and Gene Jensen, we've all worked together, and we all help each other out. There's not a month that goes by where I don't talk to probably all 3 of them, and we all communicate, and we always tell each other about new ideas we have, and, last month was cool, November, December-ish. I would talk to Robert, and he would tell me, oh, wait till you see what's going on my channel next year. I'm so excited. I would talk to Chad, and he would tell me the same thing. like, hey, wait till you see my channel next year. I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm going to do this. It's super cool. And then Gene will be like, hey, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing this. And like, they're all so excited about what they're going to do. And then I'll jump in and go, guess what I'm doing next year? I'm going to do this in my videos. And I thought about this new cool angle I'm going to try out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get a new camera to do this and do that. I bought this new suction cup mount to go underneath my kayak, and like all this cool stuff. And we all talk about it, and we all hype each other up. Like, all four of us hype each other up about growing and making sure that we all stay on our toes and kind of evolve together. So a lot of people do that all the time too, like, hey, would you ever film with this guy? Or, you know, I don't want to compete with you. And I'm like, dude, we're not competing, man. Like, I wish. So Gene lives in Georgia, so let's just say, like, on a map, I don't have like anything in front of me that I could use as a map, but let's just say that this is the country, which is a very bad representation of the country. Gene lives down here, Chad lives over here, Robert lives over here, and I live up here. So we are literally spread out like this. There's Florida, there's Georgia, there's Tennessee, and there's Michigan. So the four of us, it's really hard to get all four of us in one spot unless it is an event. Like an iCast, we're all there. A lot of the bigger national fishing shows, all four of us are there, but it's the only time we're all in the same spot at the same time. So that's why, like, I travel down south and I meet up with Chad. Like, we plan that far in advance so our schedules can actually mix. With Gene, that dude's so busy all the time, it's super hard to catch him in one spot. But same idea with Robert, same thing, especially now. He's living in a camper now, which is so freaking cool, dude. Like, that's like one of my dreams. Like, you know, the benefit of Robert being, you know, he's younger than me, he's single, he can just go. Like, it's so nice. He doesn't have any pets, doesn't have anything. That's what holds me back, is my wife would never be okay living on the road. My dog would love it. I'm sure Cedar would love it. But we have too much here. Like, we have a house, we have, you know, all this stuff. So, you know, congrats to Robert for doing that, making that huge step too, by the way. Huge. Like, it's such a big deal just to give up everything you own and just be like, all right, I'm going to buy a camper and travel the country and just live in a camper. That's so cool. But, yeah, I'm hoping that when Robert's driving around, we're going to meet up in Michigan. Because I fished with him in his home state, or not home state, he's from Texas, but in Florida. I came down to where he lived, and now he's got to come up to Michigan. So that should work out. But yeah, John Bolton, go on my channel and look at the video. There's two videos of me and Gene. There's 3 or 4 videos of me and Chad, and there's at least 1 video of me and Robert. For some reason, I don't remember if I ever posted the second one, but there is one where we had gators and snakes and fire ants and 108 degree, 100% humidity weather. It was crazy. John Bolton said, that's what I love you were talking about earlier. Nothing but respect for each other in the sport. And that's how I always try to be. So you'll never, ever, ever, ever hear or see me say anything bad about any other brand or product in the sport for a reason. Not because I like every single brand, but because somebody likes every single brand. Like, there's a brand for everybody. So even though Kayak X might be the worst kayak for me, it might be the best kayak for you. So what's going to benefit anybody by me talking bad about it? Nothing. So you'll never see me talking bad about it, because it doesn't, being negative helps nobody. I might send a message to a brand and say, hey, your product is subpar, or I have a problem with your product, and see what they say, but I'm not going to publicly put it ever. So, you know, it's funny. It's kind of like Z-Man. I went up to Z-Man at iCast and said, hey, I love you guys. You guys are a great brand. And the guy that I was talking to from Z-Man goes, hey, I know you. I've seen you on Facebook. I've seen you online. You're Bassquatch. I was like, yeah, cool. So we already had like a connection. And I told him, I said, look, guys, I am a huge supporter of you guys. I've been using you guys for 10 years. Like, I'm a huge chatterbait fan. It's all my wife uses. I'm a huge Elastec fan. The only problem I have is your hooks are garbage. I can't use your hooks. I hate them. He goes, well, what's your problem with them? And I told him, like, the keeper, I don't like. The keeper it breaks off. It doesn't hold anything. I have to use super glue all the time. The hooks are too thin. I break them when I get snagged on something. I snap the hooks off. I've lost fish because the hooks bend out. So he kind of smiled and showed me his new product, which was the new Ned locks that came out. It came out 6 months ago. And he's like, here's your answer. And I looked at it and I was like, fair enough. So nobody ever really heard me talk bad about the company, because nothing is bad about the company at all. But the fact that I told them a problem directly to the person that it should have gone to, they showed me the solution to it, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, that's all I wanted to accomplish, is I wanted a solution to a problem. You solved it, and that's when I told them, I'm happy to work with you guys. Like, now I'm okay to work with you because I presented a problem, you presented a solution, and there was no problem. Like, that's it. So you'll never see me talking bad about a person or anything. It's very rare, actually, but you'll hear me say things about some people because some people need to be called out, but that's about it. Adventures 101 just donated $25. Milton, thank you so much, man. So Milton is the top donator for the day at $25, which is ridiculously generous, dude. Like, I owe you like a huge weekend on the water, buddy. Like, we're gonna have to meet up in Pittsburgh or somewhere close to your area. I owe you a huge day on the water. He's also the one who sent me this mug for Christmas, which is the best gift ever. It's still like it's like in the top 5 gifts of my entire life, which might sound ridiculous because it's a mug, but it's the thought and the time that went behind this mug that means the most to me. I'm a big sentimental person, so it is what it is. Money means nothing to me. That's how I've always been. Money comes and goes. Time just goes. So the way I spend my time and the way people spend their time for me is the most important thing in the world to me. Spending money, and my wife hates that about me, but I'll have $5 to my name one day and I'll give it to somebody else. It's just how I am. I've always been that way. I've lost everything I've ever owned, and I've gained everything I've ever had, and I've lost it. I mean, I've gone up and down. I've been self-employed almost my whole entire life, so I've learned the hard way. You can lose everything and get it all back, but your time just goes. You never get it back. So the people who spend time supporting me, the people that spend time watching these videos, the people that spend time to do amazing, incredible, selfless things like this mug, those are the people that I feel like are the rare breed in this world. So thanks to all you guys. But anyway, I'm going to end this video. We're approaching an hour, which is like the longest video I've done in a while, and I'm trying to keep them down so you guys can actually watch these videos beginning to end. But either way, thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you guys for the donations. I always appreciate them. John Hatley said, that's great. Let me borrow $10 for Z-Man products. John Hatley, how about you just come over and I will give you some Z-Man products. See how easy that was? Anyway, for real though, if you need some Z-Man stuff, I always keep extras. I can't give away a whole lot because I have to spend money to buy them, but if you need something here and there, obviously, you know, I'll give it to you. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for your support as always. Please give this video a thumbs up, share this video. Most importantly, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, give the Bassquatch Hunter page and the Bassquatch Hunter TV page a thumbs up, and also, most important part of this whole thing, watch some YouTube videos. Go on this channel, look at some of the last couple videos I've done, write some comments on there, let me know what you guys think of the videos, what you like about them, what you don't like about them. Comment on all the videos you can. The conversations on the videos really help with YouTube promoting my videos. So do the views and watch time. So if you guys find a video on my channel that you like, go back and look at all the videos I've done this year. See what titles or pictures grab your attention or what topics. Watch some of the videos. If you like it, share it on your page and encourage your friends on your page to subscribe to my channel. So let's help get Bassquatch Hunter TV at 3,000 subscribers this year. I'm hoping to be able to get to 3,000 subscribers by the spring. Don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to push really hard. That's one of my goals right now by March, is to have 3,000 subscribers so I can break that little threshold. I've been hovering around 1,600 to 1,700 for a while, and it keeps on going up and down. So let's get it back up there, and let's hit 3,000 by March, let's hit 6,000 by the fall, and let's hit 10,000 by next year. That's the goals for Bassquatch Hunter TV, if not more. So share some videos, get your friends to subscribe to the channel so they can be part of these awesome videos and be part of the fun. We'll be doing some cool giveaways again starting next week. So next week on the volume 17 of Bassquatch, or Coffee with Bassquatch, sorry, we're going to do a giveaway. And I'm going to start doing more of those too. I like doing giveaways because I love getting some stuff out to you guys. So either way, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys being patient, hanging out with me on this video. Have an awesome day. Have an awesome weekend, a great new year, and I will see you guys on the ice or the water very soon. Have a good day, guys. Thank you so much, and that's it.